Hi there, Darlene at Petal Academy. I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to display some bulbs in some vintage milk glass today. So I love collecting milk glass. I have for years. So I've got quite a few nice little containers, and I think it's so pretty to bring them out at certain times of the year and just display a few little plant or potted materials in here. Sometimes I do ferns, but since it's January, I'm going to do something with some bulb plants just to kind of bring some color into the house. So all I have with me today is just a couple of little iris bulbs, and these are just starting to open. So they're going to show some color in just a few days, and I'll show you those. I have a white crocus, and then I have a beautiful white hyacinth here. So all I'm going to do is just add these into my vessels really simply. I'm also going to add a little bit of moss. So I've got some sheet moss today, which is this one here. And sheet moss is great, but it always is a little bit dry. So I recommend taking just some plain water in a mister and just misting it down quite a bit. Give it a nice good soaking there. What that does, it just helps it sort of revive, so it's not so dry and dusty when you're using it. I also have a few decorative stones that I'm going to add, and I've also gone ahead and cut some wires into about a 2-inch length. And with these, I'm just going to bend these in half and use them to secure the moss into the planters. So with this little guy here, this is the biggest one. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 of the irises together in this little pot here. It's going to look so pretty. I'll be sure to photograph these when I'm finished so that you guys can see how these look. So you're just going to want to take that. You can actually knock off some of the excess soil. You don't need a lot of it, just from around the top. I'm making a big mess here, but just enough to sort of get those bulbs showing. Just really pretty. So I've got one little pot in there. I'm going to do the same thing with the second one. So just going ahead, knocking off a little bit of that excess soil because I don't need so much of it showing. And you can, once the bulbs have started to sort of do their thing, you can't really damage them too badly. You got to watch the water a little bit. You don't want to soak them, so be sure not to overwater them. Keep them moderately moist, and they'll perform really well in your home. Sometimes you can even keep them a little bit on the dry side, and they'll even take a little bit longer to open, which is nice. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this moss, sort of tuck it around these gorgeous little iris bulbs here. These are going to open up so pretty. And to add this moss, I'm just ripping it off in little like 1-inch strips here and just kind of tucking it around the edges. And like I said in the beginning, if you happen to have some wires on hand, you can make some little tiny wires. Where do I have my little cuttings? Here we go. This little guy's like this, and I just bend them in half. You can see I'm not afraid of the dirt. And then I just take them, make a little hairpin with them, and then I just add them in just to hold that moss on. I find if you've got, you know, cats or anything like that, curious little creatures at home, they're going to want to get in there with their paws and maybe disturb that a little bit. So there's one of the ones that I've done up just with the little bit of the iris bulbs. And then I've got a beautiful taller vessel here. I'm going to put some crocuses in this one. I've got a white crocus plant here, which is so great. So for this one, because it's a little bit deeper, sometimes what I'll do is even take some moss or a little bit extra soil and just tuck that into the bottom so that I don't have to worry about this kind of slipping down too far when I place it inside. And then I'm just going to sort of tuck those bulbs in there. This has got a lot of water in it because I just watered it. So I'm probably not going to need to add water to this one for a while. I'm just going to tuck that little moss just around the outside there. And again, if you need to take those little pins, you can pin the moss inside. And I've got one last one here that I'm going to do up. This is just this little tiny one here. This is such a great little shape. And then I'm just going to take this. You just got to squeeze the pots off the bottom. You'll see those roots are just like a nice healthy white, and you can just tuck that inside. I usually remove the little cards and just set them to the side. You can plant your bulbs outside in the garden and they will come up next spring. So plant them outside in the garden. You can do that in the summertime, or you can do it in the fall. Usually they recommend the fall just because it's a little easier. Got a bit more time on your hands to do some gardening. And there you go. I'm going to just add a little bit of these pins in here just to secure this moss in a couple of little spots. And then because this one's a little bit lower, I'm just going to add a couple of little stones in here, and this one as well, just to add a little bit of a decorative element. right in there. You can just kind of take those and push them into the sides. I have made quite a mess, but the result I think is beautiful. So you can see these three little gorgeous little arrangements. So pretty, perfect for a little dining room table or kitchen island, anything like that. Get you through those winter months, bring on some spring and sunshine, and of course they bloom right in front of your eyes, which I think there's nothing better through the winter months. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions, reach out to us at info@petalacademy.com. Don't forget to check us out online. We've got an online store. You can get kits dropped right on your doorstep, and you can follow us on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.